Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Will Morey of Gamma. Will, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for the invite. Absolute pleasure to be with you.
Well, we're going to be talking about one of the big topics of the year and last year as well, which is PSTN migration, copper migration, the end of PSTN. And it turns out in the UK, actually, there seems to be like a hard deadline on this, not just a bunch of little endings and starts and stops. So we're going to be talking about that in just a second. But Will, what is Gamma and Gamma Business?
I mean, Gamma Business is really an organization based in the UK. We're listed on FTSE with presence in Europe through Germany, through the Netherlands, Spain. But our UK business is very much about empowering and enabling a channel of partners, MSPs, telecoms resellers, and organizations to be able to take products like Cisco WebEx and other UCaaS products, along with connectivity, cybersecurity products, and mobile to market, and really to make sure that our reseller partners have the ability to deliver really compelling technology solutions into their end user base of customers.
So in the United Kingdom, is there actually a sharp end to PSTN?
Razor sharp, I would say. Yes, we're all
Okay.
very focused on January 27. I think there's been a lot of conjecture about will it move, won't it move, and that the date has been moving historically. I think now we're all starting to feel that Jan 27 is the date, and it is a significant opportunity for channel partners, but is also a significant risk. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we've got a proposition that enables channel partners to mitigate that risk and maximize that opportunity.
Now, you guys have said before that this is less a technical problem and more a problem of scale. So what do you mean by that?
I guess what we want to get across to our partner community is that, technically we all understand everybody can do this on a one-by-one basis. You can look at it and you can see technically how you take someone from technology A to technology B, from legacy to next gen. But what we're starting to see is that hard deadline of January 27 gets closer and closer. This suddenly then becomes about scale, because there are huge numbers of lines still live in the UK that are going to be needed to be migrated by that date. So we want our partners to start thinking less in terms of one by one and more about thinking about the estates that need to be managed and migrated. And that's why we've pulled together the proposition that we have, because it enables a partner to do that migration at scale without disrupting the day-to-day business that they're working so hard to drive at the moment. Because now more than ever, we're in a world of complexity and chaos, aren't we, with the macroeconomy and the geopolitical landscape that we operate in. Yeah, we need to make sure that we're delivering something that enables partners to continue to focus on winning new logos, winning new business, and being able to continue to run the core operations of their business. So we take that burden from them of migrating technology from legacy to next gen, and to be able to do it in such a way that frees them up to continue to run and build their business.
Now, has the nature of this migration process changed specifically for MSPs?
I don't think it's necessarily changed. I think the challenge has been there. I think the criticality of it has changed as the date gets closer. I think as well, it is a complex business. It's a messy set of requirements from a customer. This isn't just a simple, you're on technology A, you need to be on technology B, crack on and make it happen. It's much more about really understanding the unique needs of each and every user, and then making sure that you can map a journey from them from a broad range of legacy technologies to a broad range of next generation technologies. So our approach is very much based around, first seek to understand, seek to audit all of that estate and make sure we've got a really granular understanding of the needs of a partner's end user base, and then make sure an equally granular but scalable proposition is put on the table to say, these are the user journeys, or the kind of the change journeys that we need to deliver for your end user base. And so once that audit is done, we can then present that back to the partner and then deliver a fully managed service proposition into the partner, white labeled, to say, we will take all of your customer base on these different user journeys to these new technologies, and we'll make sure we can deliver that to you at a cost that means that you are comfortable outsourcing that to us, and we can kind of equip and enable that journey for you.
What is Edge Migrate?
Well, Edge Migrate, if I go back a little bit, we spend a lot of time in early 2025 listening to our partner community, listening to what they saw as the challenges being in the market. And what we recognized very quickly is, just very quickly going back to some of those challenges, macro economy, etc., that the partner community were facing. They needed an edge. And as a Gamma partner, we wanted to make sure we were giving them an edge in the market. They've committed to trusting us with their business, with their outsourcing the technology that they deliver into their end user community. And we wanted to make sure that because they were giving us that trust, we were able to give them an edge in the market. And so there were a number of ways in which we've given our partner community an edge. Initially there were things that we call boost propositions that gave them things like all-inclusive minutes, regardless of whether they were ringing internationally or nationally. We gave them a proposition there that enabled them to do that. We gave them incentives around, we call velocity, around where if they grow, we give them back a significant chunk of every £1 they grow by. We put that back in their pocket. But what we also identified through countless conversations with partners really is they had customers stuck on islands of legacy technology, and that was distracting them from being able to drive the day-to-day growth of their business. And so what we came up with was what is now called Edge Migrate, which is where we offer a series of migration programs. The one we're talking about today is around migrating from PSTN, but we offer similar services perhaps on their connectivity estates, also on UCaaS. And we found, consistently there were partners who were saying, look, I partnered with this organization 5-6 years ago. I can see now that from a kind of a governance compliance perspective, that from a perspective of the kind of long-term future and R&D roadmap of that organization, that's not right for my customer base. And what we came up with is this managed migration program where they can outsource a lot of that operational headache to us. We can take that on board and deliver a white labeled service to take customers very simply from technology A, typically legacy, to technology B, typically next gen.
Why does that make sense for the MSPs to go to?
I think the most important area in terms of it making sense is it's not a distraction. It's not distracting them from their core mission. Because when you've got in-life customers that you need to migrate at scale and at pace because of the deadlines that we've spoken about, it means, I spoke to a partner where they were doing some migration activity and they said it was wiping out their engineering resource almost entirely for 4 months. Now, that's a third of a year that they'd be losing their ability to be out installing customers, winning new customers, upgrading their technology, and they just can't afford that. So I think why it absolutely makes sense in the MSP community today is because it avoids that distraction and it gives them the additional bandwidth and capacity that they need to be able to deliver at scale, but not be distracted away from their core mission of continuing to grow and build their business.
Now, you actually have hard lessons learned applying this to actual migrations.
Absolutely, in multiple areas really, but we've been increasingly working in kind of a managed service environment for our partners, where partners are outsourcing aspects of their business to us that we can take on and we can run with a different level of scale and capability in our business, and they can absolutely know that they can trust us with that because we're a completely channel focused organization. In terms of the sort of the hard lessons learned and the one, I think like everything, relationship is all and communication is everything, and understanding really what the needs are of that organization, making sure we're absolutely crystal clear in how they want to deliver their service to their customers, in understanding their customer base, their brand ethos, their approach to their customer base is absolutely critical, and having that absolutely nailed down up front is a critical element of it. I think as well, making sure that we're able to engage very clearly at the start with this kind of audit approach that we've spoken about. So being absolutely explicit with the understanding of the challenge, because I'm sure we've all experienced it over the years where when someone's selling to you, everything sounds very easy and very simple, and it's let's do it. The enthusiasm is there. When the reality of the day is there, and you're actually delivering these services, and you're in the thick of it, sometimes that sales enthusiasm can trip us all up. So that's why we work very hard at the outset of a relationship to audit, to understand, and to be absolutely crystal clear in terms of what we need to deliver, what the expectations are, what the service levels are, and realistically, are we going to make sure we deliver that within the price point that makes this a really good decision for the reseller partner. So I think it is all about understanding at the very beginning what is the need of the partner. Let's be really explicit on that audit and that understanding capability.
So as we wrap up, I imagine that partners are sort of saying, "Hey, this is starting to, as that deadline approaches, this could overwhelm me, and I want to focus on growth." So what's your sort of wrap up message to them? They'd like to focus on growth. They don't want to be overwhelmed. They want an opportunity.
I think the overwhelming message is, let's start that audit phase with you. You might conclude out of that as a partner that maybe this isn't for you, and actually that's okay. The key message I would say is really have that granular understanding of where you're taking your customer base, and if we can fit into that journey with you, then great. But we're happy just to work with you to start that initial audit phase, to gather the understanding and make sure we can put a proposition on the table that works for you. But don't leave it too late. If you haven't started that audit and that understanding now, you need to crack on and get on with it, because it will overwhelm you, it will put margin at risk, and it will put customer satisfaction at risk.
Well, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This has been really interesting. Where can partners learn more?
If you come to our website, gamma.co.uk, then absolutely, that's the place to hit. You'll see there our propositions, and by all means, reach out directly to me, Will Morey. You'll find me on LinkedIn, and I'm plastered all over the web doing similar interviews to this. So I'd love to talk to you.
Will, thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Hugely appreciate the time, and lovely to see you. Look forward to catching up soon, Doug.